Hey, Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome to Weather Worries. Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center. For those of you watching on my Facebook page, hello, and thanks for joining me. If you're watching on the KTAL Now app, hello to you as well. You can see today a pretty quiet day weather-wise across the Arklatex, as we did see temperatures that warmed into the middle 80s. I'll show you those highs here in a second. End of the day with some high clouds over parts of the area and some lower clouds over the northern sections of the Arklatex. So coming up tonight, this is what's on the docket. We are going to be looking at still a possibility for some thunderstorms that I told you about during the early newscasts. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is now in place for mainly the northwestern edge of the area. That watch will expire at 11 p.m. But so far, the storms that have developed to our west are not really making a whole lot of progress our way, and it looks like the window of opportunity as far as severe weather is going down. More on that in a second. It looks like tomorrow and Friday looking warm and mainly dry with morning clouds, afternoon sunshine. We'll have a small chance for some severe weather Friday night, mainly over the northern sections of the area, but Futurecast has trended weaker with those storms. I'll show you the latest from the model there. Again, we have another disturbance, probably the strongest that we've seen in the last week, that will give us our best chance for severe weather. That probably will be Tuesday night or Wednesday of next week. And I'll show you the latest from SPC on that. And of course, we've been talking about for more than a week now the potential for heavy rain here as we enter the middle of March and go through the first half of March. And it looks like the models have been very consistent in the amounts, and those consistent numbers continue. And as far as my level of worry for tonight, I'd put it at probably two now, given the trends that we've seen with the current storms. For Friday night, probably 2 or 3 on that 1 to 10 scale. And I put 4 because of the location of the upper level low and the fact that we're going to be warm, very moist in terms of the humidity. So my level of concern is a little bit higher for that storm, which is on the way during the middle part of next week. All right, so for those of you watching on Facebook, if you have a question or a question or a concern, or you just want to say hi, please feel free to do so, as it is tradition to begin the festivities with our hellos. And we'll go through the list here. Brian, hello. Betty, greetings to you. Aaron up there in WCOK, hello. Rusty, good evening. Stacy, hello. Lewis, good evening to you. And Mary, the last one to chime in with the hello. Hello to you, Mary. And thank you very much for watching. And thanks all of you for watching. All right, let's move on here and get to the meat of the deal here. We'll start you off with pinpoint Doppler. And again, to put this in the motion during the past hour, and you can see these storms over towards Dallas, they're not really making a lot of progress to the east. Nor they really aren't moving. In fact, all of these storms around Dallas have been very slow movers. I just looked up on the radar how much rain south. You can see the blue boxes. Those are flash flood warnings. 2 to 5 inches plus of rain over the south sections of Dallas. So they've been pounded today or this evening with the rainfall. And you can see further to the north, a few storms might graze the northern sections of McCurtain County. At one point, these were warned when they were further to the west. You can see the special weather statement boxes have also disappeared. So we have seen a little bit of a weakening trend with these storms. In fact, let's switch the radar over to the Fort Smith radar, and that gives us probably a better view of their intensity and their motion. So you can see basically northern half of McCurtain County. This probably will be the source of your strongest storms that you experience. And let me pause this right now and kind of give you an idea as to when they may arrive. In fact, let me zoom this in here, and I'm going to clear that off and zoom it in, and we'll kind of get a sense on when they might arrive. Again, moving basically in this general direction, so probably the bottom edge of this will cross 259 near or north of Hochatown at 1048, and here, this part close to 10 for Batiste and around 10:30 for Smithville. So anyone watching in northern McCurtain County, this is probably going to be the main worry that you have here this evening. And that's pretty much it. Zoom back out here, and you can see, switch back to the Shreveport radar, that we really don't have anything else to worry about. It's looking kind of doubtful that this activity will be very strong, if it even makes it to the far northwestern sections of Texas. All right, before we get to the, see who else has chimed in here. Christian, hello. We do have some active weather. It's been a couple weeks. We don't want too much of it, though, although we could use the rain there, Christian. Bonnie, hello. Lindsay, hello to you. Drew, we're doing very well. Thank you for asking. And Nita, hello to you as well. All right, high temperatures today. Made it to 84 this afternoon in Shreveport. 85 degrees was the high temperature in Texarkana. 84 also in Marshall. That 84 was the highest temperature recorded so far this year, believe it or not, in Shreveport. I believe 86 has been the warmest, maybe 85 in Texarkana, tying the high mark today. All right, you can see the upper level disturbances, one here. Notice how far north this is. Keep that in mind when we get to grain of salt time, and I show you the path of that last disturbance is going to take. This is going to continue to move towards the northeast. This is going to take a course probably a little bit further to the north. So again, that's one reason why the severe weather threat with these two disturbances will be a little bit lower than what's anticipated for Tuesday. Let's see. Eric, 70 degrees in Coburn, Oklahoma, west of the Arklatex near Lake Texoma. Hello there, Eric. Brad in WCOK, hello to you. And Dylan, hello to you as well. All right, let's move on. And you can see the highs, lows, fronts on a national scale here. This will take us through Sunday. And you can see that front lifting to the north and taking these storms with it tonight. And then that's pretty much it for the next couple of days, as we'll see the morning clouds, afternoon sunshine tomorrow. You can see the next low, which is going to be gathering itself. And notice the path that it's going to take way up into the upper Midwest. You can see that frontal boundary. That's going to serve as the trigger for thunderstorms probably Friday evening to the northwest of the Arklatex. Those storms will gradually move into our area very late Friday night. Now, this run with Futurecast quite a bit slower than the last two previous runs that I've seen today. And then we'll see that front ease its way south, and notice we'll continue to see scattered showers and thunderstorms behind it Saturday and Saturday night. And then everything becomes more focused further to the south, moving through Sunday. And notice most of the rest of the country looking relatively quiet. And also notice this low here over Baja. That is what is eventually, that's associated with the big upper level low that our friend Gary may get some impact from. If anything, is going to cool off there in Palm Springs. But nonetheless, that is going to move eastward. And instead of moving up here, instead of taking a path up here, it's going to move like this. So it's going to move directly overhead. And as it comes, we will see the good shot for thunderstorms again Monday, Tuesday. They will increase with a pretty good line Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Let's see. Lee. Yes, it is. Not very often, Lee points out the day 7 outlook from SPC is concerning. I'm going to show you that. It's not very often that we see a slight risk on day 7 or day 8. It's somewhat rare, to be honest with you, because everything has to align to put that out there. Stephen says he can see the lightning in Dallas from his location. Wouldn't surprise me. There is quite a bit of it there, Stephen. I'm looking at the radar over here that is over there, and there's quite a bit of lightning to your south, too, northwest of Tyler there, Stephen. Maybe that's the direction you're looking. I'm not questioning you. But anyway, let's move on with Futurecast here, and you can see I'm going to zero this in since we really don't have any issues for the southern part of the area. Let's zero in and show you these thunderstorms, and notice how Futurecast has pretty much taken them out. Now, I think we will see those storms that I pointed out on the radar earlier move across the northern half of McCurtain County. But other than that, Futurecast showing a rather benign storm picture for tonight. And then zoom this back out, and you can see that heading through tomorrow and Friday, that we will see a cloudy start tomorrow, afternoon sunshine, same pattern we've seen over the last couple of days. It will be rather breezy with that south wind at 10 to 15 tomorrow. Clouds will increase as we cool off tomorrow night. And then Friday, cloudy start, some sunshine in the afternoon, a bit more windy Friday with winds of 15 to even 20. We could have some gusts to 30 miles per hour on Friday. Fortunately, with this wind, the humidity is much higher than it was the last time it was as windy, so we may not have the issues with fire that we have seen here the last couple of weeks because of the dry conditions. All right, so let me zoom this out on a regional scale here and show you those storms as they fire up. You can see the front and how the storms fire up as that front moves south. Let's zoom back into home here, and you can see that line that is going to be from the Queen to Clarksville by 6 a.m. The fact that this line is getting here later is better because the storms will, once we get past sunset, will, like what's happening now, will probably begin to decrease as they move further to the south. Now, again, this is just one model, so grain of salt on that. But nonetheless, we'll see this activity continue to spread and develop more southward. And notice the weakening trend over the northern sections of the area and new scattered thunderstorms developing over East Texas and northwest Louisiana Saturday afternoon. That activity will continue Saturday night, but the main focus shifts into the southern half of the area Saturday night. And going through the day on Sunday, mainly dry north, we probably will see the rain decrease in intensity and coverage during the day on Sunday, at least based on what Futurecast is showing here. So again, for all of us, probably the most active time Friday night through Saturday night, really, to be honest with you. Friday night, Saturday north, and then Saturday night, Sunday south. That's pretty much the timing. And here's the SPC outlook for day 3. That would be Friday. This is for that line. Notice the orange here where the storms develop. The severe weather will be more widespread. And the fact that the colors gradually go down, in other words, level 3, level 2, level 1, shows you the weakening trend. So basically, and they don't have an outlook for Saturday. So let's move this to Saturday. No slight risk for Saturday. SPC kind of mentioning a marginal risk, which is what they mentioned yesterday. So, and Futurecast kind of verifies that, as I'll show you actually right now. Let's take a look at the threats that we could be looking at moving through Sunday. And you can see the wind gusts. Again, what we're looking for are the colors of orange and red and even browns. Notice this would cover the storms coming in Friday night over the north. And notice this ends Saturday at 9 p.m. Further to the south, not very many wind issues. And then heading through Sunday, still not really very many wind issues. Might have a few gusts that exceed 30 miles per hour. Tornado potential, I'm really not worried about that tonight. And you can see Friday night, not really too concerning as well. Not very many of those swaths here going through Saturday. So the good news here is that at least through Sunday, the tornado risk is looking very low. And then moving as far as the hail aspect of things, what we're looking for here is more darks, not just pinks, because pinks is, as you can see here, on the low end of the size spectrum according to the Futurecast. But notice Friday night, some hail, but not very big. Actually, it takes us through Saturday. And notice how we don't add any with the rain anticipated for Sunday. So that kind of goes to the point that we'll have, at this point, it looks like, especially with this trend in Futurecast, a low end of severe risk late Friday night. And Saturday and Sunday, not really too concerned about anything widespread as far as severe weather then either. All right, let's go through the comments before we get to grain of salt time here. Time is flying by tonight. Austin in Plano, Texas. I just mentioned all the heavy rain there in South Dallas, south of you there, Austin. 5 inches on the radar. There's flash flood warnings over there. More storms this weekend, yes. Eric is happy for the rain in his neck of the woods. I'm glad you got some. We have been missed so far, Eric. Our return will be this weekend. Ronnie, good evening to you. Matt, any severe concerns? Not this weekend, Houston. Not this weekend, Matt, in Houston. You'll have to worry about Tuesday night. Jeff, good evening to you as well. Okay, so again, as we look at this pattern, notice the path that these ripples take. Disturbance 1 tonight's, disturbance 2 this weekend, and compare that. See how far north that second one went? Here's the upper level low Sunday morning. This is going to be the one that we're going to have to watch, and you can see the rain ahead of it Sunday that I just showed you with Futurecast. This will march eastward, and we'll see scattered thunderstorms Monday night, decreasing Monday night. Tuesday they'll fire up, and then Tuesday night, A pretty good line of storms will move through the area. Forecast soundings showing that all severe weather threats will be possible. And especially with the strength of this low and its position, we are looking at, again, the possibility for some tornadoes. Once that clears, we'll take a pause for a few days, and then it looks like the frequency of the rain will go down somewhat, and we very well could shift back into this northwesterly flow as we move past St. Patrick's Day. This ends 2 weeks from today. Okay, so that's the pattern. You can see the differences on the paths that those upper level disturbances will take. And you can see another disturbance. This is 2 weeks from today. I stopped it too soon. Another little bit of batch of rain coming in at the end of the 2 week period. All right, so as far as the Tuesday severe risk, Lee mentioned the outlook. This is a slight risk. Now, keep in mind, on past day 3, SPC does not do isolated, or I should say marginal, moderate, or high. They only consider slight and enhanced risk areas. So it's somewhat rare to see a slight on day 7. I've seen one on day 8, and I've even seen enhanced on day 7 and 8, I think. So it is somewhat unusual. So that is in itself a red flag. And just because there's no green here doesn't mean that we won't have some green. And I think that we'll probably see at some point a yellow on Wednesday as well, maybe further to the east. All right, so, and as I mentioned, wind, hail, and again, tornadoes, the whole spectrum will be on the table for late Tuesday night as that system approaches. Let's switch gears and talk rain. This is the 7-day outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. And again, most of the rain that we're going to see here in the next couple of weeks will be in the first week. So you can see that purple up in McCurtain County is 6. So 4 to 6 inches of rain over all of the Arklatex, with the heaviest totals over the northern sections of the region. This sounds very familiar because I've been showing you the numbers just like this for the past week. All right, it's Model Blend, which takes us out 10 days. Again, very similar, 4 to, you can see the dark red there in northwestern McCurtain County, that's 6 inches. Mine lines up very well with WPC. And again, we probably won't add much in days 8, 9, and 10. This goes out 10 days. Let's take you out 2 weeks. And again, we have a couple more disturbance in the day 10 to day 14 time frame. And you can see that we could see some decent totals when you add it all together in the next 2 weeks. 5 to over 9 inches in DeQueen, 4 to over 8 inches in Texarkana, 3 to 5 in Shreveport, 2 to 5 in Natchitoches. All right, so that is, and you can see how tightly packed if you throw out the outliers, how the rest of them are all matched up very closely together. So there is pretty good agreement in how much rain. And again, we're talking 2 weeks here. We should get over 2 inches of rain, 2.5 inches of rain in a 2 week period. So this, in some spots, will be more than double of our normal rainfall, which will help with the drought. It will help quite a bit. Christian, hello. In Ashdown, I really don't think you have anything to worry about tonight. You have to watch that line in case you missed it Friday night. And then, again, as I mentioned, you may have seen it, the chance for severe weather Tuesday night. Close. Brad's ready for the rain, ready for a good shower. All right, let's talk temperatures as it is getting late. European ensembles show the warmth here, which will continue until that upper level low moves by. Notice the cool down as it moves through Thursday, 60s for highs. Then we're back up into the 70s for the rest of the 2 week period. So again, it's looking more and more likely that we have probably seen our last freeze, as nothing even close to the 30s here. Again, these are Shreveport numbers, so that's probably the case in Shreveport. And you can see the GFS ensemble showing 90 for Friday, which, never say never. It's possible if we get sun, sooner. And you can see with the rain Sunday, the front to our south, a little bit cooler, warm back up as that upper level low approaches Monday, Tuesday. Low 70s, not as cool as the European ensembles Thursday, and then we pretty much 70s and 80s. And the coolest night, 47 at the end of the period. So this takes us through March 18th. All right, let's move on to the forecast here. And you can see that tonight we will see the sky become cloudy. Again, those thunderstorms over the northwestern sections of the area. Really, it looks like it's going to be maybe Red River, McCurtain County that sees the best chance of rain as our window of opportunity is closing. Rest of the area will be dry tonight with temperatures in the mid-60s, 67 tonight for the low in Shreveport, 65 in Marshall, and 64 in Arcadia. Tomorrow, looking at lots of clouds. I call it mostly cloudy, but we'll see the same pattern. Cloudy in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. When you add it all up, it's mostly cloudy. So we'll see highs in the low to middle 80s. 85 again tomorrow in Texarkana, 84 in Atlanta. Not really too much as far as rain tomorrow, I don't think. And you can see really no chance of rain further to the south with daytime highs here. Also, 85 tomorrow. Could be a little bit warmer than what we witnessed today in Shreveport. And your 10-day forecast shows that we will see temperatures cooler this weekend with the rain and clouds, 70s. Don't forget, daylight saving time begins Saturday night. Warm up Monday, Tuesday. Still a good shot for the scattered stuff. Tuesday night, possibly into Wednesday, that line of strong to severe storms will impact us. And then we'll finally settle into dry for several days as we head into next weekend. So that will do it for me officially tonight. Good night there, Lindsay. I don't like storm season either, Brad. Keeps me on my toes, and everyone agrees with that statement. So, of course, 8:51, time for me to almost sign off here. Before I go, I have to send you away with my little attempt at humor. So here we go. Recently, my wife and I attended a wedding. We were at the reception, and I was enjoying some dessert. I come back with another helping of dessert. My wife says, "That's the 4th time we've gone back for dessert. Doesn't that embarrass you?" I said, "No, I was telling him it's for you." Anyway, that will officially do it for me tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in as always. Looks like the stream performed flawlessly tonight on the KTAL Now app. Hopefully I figured out something. So if you're watching there, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow night with one final live update for the week. So until tomorrow night, get outside tomorrow, enjoy the warm temperatures and that afternoon sunshine. Good night.